You're tuned into BGC Senegal, the platform where youth voices take center stage. Together, we will amplify your stories, passions, and aspirations.
Suicide affects us all. For each death by suicide, on average there are 6 people who ultimately suffer from the horrific loss of their loved one. If you feel that life is hopeless, if you feel like nothing can be done, or that you will never be happy again, let's talk about it. Please call 1-800-273-8255.
You're tuned into BGC Senegal Radio, where English takes center stage, bringing you the best of Senegal in the language of Shakespeare. Keep those ears locked because this is your English-only station in Senegal.
Are you ready to discover your African roots and connect with your global family? Do you want to challenge the myths and stereotypes that have distorted our history and identity? Join the Global Conversation event and learn the truth about our history and identity. Hear from experts and activists from Africa and the diaspora, and share your own stories and dreams. Together, we can create a better future for ourselves and our children. Join the session and be part of the global conversation. You will hear inspiring stories of resilience, resistance, and solidarity from people of African descent across the globe, and learn about the amazing work that BGC Senegal and other organizations are doing to educate, inspire, and unite us.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to the show Harmony Hour. Today, Saturday, April 13, 2024, and my name is Natty Ndate Beye. I am the founder of Boys and Girls Clubs of Senegal. We are pioneering our first English station in Senegal. This is actually the first and only English radio in Senegal, English media group in Senegal. We're looking to expand that into a TV station and really fostering English, English news, English conversation, and really inviting people to, to join us so that we can together make this project successful. As we dive into the show today, Harmony Hour. So today we're going to talk about perseverance. People may define it differently because ultimately our experiences actually shape our beliefs, and then our beliefs tend to shape our attitude, our thoughts. That is the reason why it is very important to have a very positive, attitude, very positive thoughts. That way, when they turn into habits, they're going to be the best habits that you could have.
Man,
I told you guys, I actually, in 2009, I left Senegal. I was born and raised in Senegal. And then in 2009, I decided to leave my home country to come to the United States. I had a dream, a really big dream. And I made the choice to actually go to Idaho. Why Idaho? It's funny, every time I say that, people would be asking me, why Idaho? In all the United States, Idaho is a state you've chosen to go to? I said, yes. Well, why did I choose to go to Idaho? All right, so ultimately the choice to Idaho was driven by my desire to be in a place where I would be compelled to only speak English. Remember, folks, I told you I wanted to learn English. When I came here, a little over 14 years ago, I wasn't speaking English at all. Who knows Senegal knows that we speak French and Wolof. We don't speak English in Senegal. So I had few to no opportunities to really practice English in Senegal. I remember when I got here, the first state my first contact with the United States was in Georgia, Atlanta. I had a layover in Georgia for about 60, 90 minutes. I was terrified. I was very scared. And I'm not afraid to say so today because of where I came from and where I'm at today. At some point, I even thought about going back home. I had a round ticket. My dad actually got me a round ticket. My dad is my best friend. He was very sad that I had to leave, but you know what? I told him I wanted to leave. I got to get out of I just wanted to see what is out there. How do people think outside of Senegal, outside of Africa? I wanted to step out of my shell and start thinking outside of the box. So I made the trip, got a layover in Atlanta, Georgia, waited for about 90 minutes, and then got my flight to Idaho. I remember I got to Idaho around 9 p.m., 10-ish, basically. And then the person who was supposed to come pick me up came in, and then my flight was a little delayed, so he went back to the campus. So I was right there, an African girl who's never traveled before, in the middle of, in the United States. Everything just seemed so big. It's like looking for a unicorn in a haystack. So but you know what? I had the drive. That is the reason why I like to tell my listeners, when you believe in something, nothing will deter you from it. You gotta love, you gotta want, and you gotta believe. And most importantly, it is for you to believing in yourself. When you believe in yourself, there is nothing you cannot do. Nothing. You will be able to achieve anything and everything in life if you have the love, the passion, and the will. If you believe in yourself, you believe what you're worth, then and only then people can believe in you and believe in your worth. So I am right here, or there I should say. That was back in 2009 in Idaho at the airport with my 2 suitcases and my handbag. I didn't know where the campus was. I didn't know anything about Idaho. And there was no way I could find somebody who would speak English. I mean, French, I should say, let alone Wolof. So I had to speak English. No matter how, I needed to communicate with people so they know exactly where I was going, and I was ready for it. I was ready because I wanted to succeed. I did not want to fail. I did not take the trip to America only to fail and go back home. All right, so then I took my suitcases and then in my handbag, walked outside of the airport. I remember standing on, kind of walking around and trying to figure out exactly what to do if I need to take a taxi, a cab that's going to take me to my university, to my college, to the campus. Right when I was standing there, a car just came and stopped right by my side. And then he rolled the window down and then said, "Are you African?" And I said, "Yes." When I think about it, it makes me giggle because I don't know how he knew that I was African. Probably because I was just looking around and just seeming like I was lost, possibly, and yeah. He goes, he asked, and I said, "Yes, I am. Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Senegal." And then he's like, "Oh, I am actually from Nigeria." And I said, "Oh, wow." And then he said, he asked, rather, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to the College of Southern Idaho. I don't know where's that. I think I'm lost." And then he laughed.
Together, we will amplify your stories, passions, and aspirations.
All right, folks, we're just going to take a 10-minute break here, and then we'll get back with the rest of the story. And then we'll open the line for your suggestions, your comments, and anything that you would like to add.
Suicide affects us all. For each death by suicide, on average there are 6 people who ultimately suffer from the horrific loss of their loved one. If you feel that life is hopeless, if you feel like nothing can be done, or that you will never be happy again, let's talk about it. Please call 1-800-273-8255, where there will always be someone 24 hours a day standing by for you, because there is always an option, and there is always someone who cares that you exist.